And hello there folks, I'm RGB from RJB TV and welcome to the video on this beautiful Saturday night. Unless you're watching it on a Sunday or a Monday. But for me right now it's Saturday night, which means that I'm introducing Saturday Team Day. It doesn't rhyme, well it rhymes because we got day twice, but rhyming day with day doesn't sound too good, but it rhymes. But yeah, Saturday Team Day. And we've got two teams on the list today, and I'm not sure if these are in fact the exact teams because they switch members out here and there depending on the game. But I think Brain, Lucky, and Doromi are on the same team, that I know for sure. Whether Miss Freya or Sufan are on team 1 or 2, I don't know. But team 2 consists of Hachi, Stun, and Mew. So let's get started. Let's get this rolling. Let's get the party started with both these teams out here for us to be entertained by. Also still gotta fix that line there on the top, which I made this mistake before, but I cannot write out the entire list there on the top. So I'm gonna make it Team Brain versus Team Hachi. And it turns out we actually, I completely messed up the teams. Let me just watch this. Let me just check. Yeah, I completely messed up the teams. It's in fact Mew, Stun HHK, and Brain on the same team. And they are, where are they? This is Stun HHK. Then here we got Brain on the Protoss. So double Protoss there so far. Then we have the brown color, Mew here on the bottom left of the map. And then we have Lucky there on the Protoss as well, Doromi on the Protoss on the 12 o'clock, and Hachi on the Protoss on the 11 o'clock spawn location. And I know that players in the comments, people in the comments will ask me to put this on red versus blue. I personally don't like red versus blue, because then I lose oversight over which player is doing what. And that's something I personally really like. But I also know that because we have white on one team and pink on the other team, it might get a little bit confusing if I don't use red versus blue. So I'm going to be switching back and forth between red versus blue and the original colors pretty much the entire time, okay? Hopefully that will make it a bit easier to follow. But so far, all players this game so far going for triple gateway. They started with a pylon on 7, a gateway on 9, then 2 more gateways. After they have 300 minerals, they make these 2 at the same time, then another pylon and a forge before they start pylon number 3. They get a cannon before they start pylon number 3, and after that they will get pylon number 3. So first zealots are on the way. Players are moving out into the map. Actually, Mew does not make his cannon yet. Likewise, Lucky kind of started his cannon the first, and the others started a little bit slower. Now players are walking across the map. We've got Mew and Stun HHK going for Lucky's backline, but Lucky has the cannon coming up very early, so he should be fine. Likewise, Lucky there going for the minerals of Stun HHK. He's got 3 zealots there on the scene and a cannon on the way, so he should be able to protect his probes. Likewise, we have Brain there going for the minerals of Doromi. And the other 2 players so far are outside of harm's way. They're not yet getting attacked. So a lot of action already happening in this Protoss game with 3 Protoss, 6 players, 2 teams going at it. Let's very quickly switch over to the team colors. Brain, oh my god, I just don't know who these 2 are. Brain and Mew going straight for a Lucky's life. They want to hit him hard, get on top of the cannon. The zealots are sealing up the cannon though. They're sealing up the cannons. He might lose a couple of probes, maybe lose the cannon. They're getting on top of the cannon. He's doing his best to wall this off though. Only 1 zealot got on top of the cannon. And Brain is trying to make it so that 2 zealots can hit the cannon, but nope, not gonna happen. But the cannon will go down as they get a complete surround. There's too many units here on the scene, but they do lose all their zealots. As Hachi came in to save his ally. We still have those units there from Stun, coming there from the bottom right, trying to get on top of the probe, trying to stop more cannons from warping in, while the fight is happening there on the middle. Doromi and Hachi are pushing Brain and Mew out of this base, trying to establish control over the map. So far, Hachi, Doromi, and Lucky have the supply lead as Mew and Brain both lost a couple of zealots there inside of Lucky's base. But Stun HHK is, well, he's falling behind a little bit as he's now also losing Zealots there while fighting on the middle against Lucky, Doromi, and Hachi. Now Brain there trying to go for a counterattack there on Hachi. We got Stun HHK. No, that's just all Hachi's units there on the scene. Doromi there trying to make sure that Brain is no longer going to send any more Zealots into the middle. All players have started their double gas, have their Cybercore finished up. Some players have one gas. Like some players are going for Citadel of Adun for Zealot speed level 1 attack, and some other players are going for advanced technology. Let me just check which players are going for the advanced technology. We have Doromi going for Templar's Archive and a robotics on 3 gateways. Got 5 gateways, 6 gateways. They're coming from Mew Mew. Fight happening there on the middle. Both players, 2 teams are trying to get control over this midsection. Trying to get control over the midsection. And we have Lucky pushing Mew Mew back to his own base. Hachi is pushing Stun back to his own base. And Doromi is pushing Brain back into his own base, where he's got 2 cannons lined up, and he's now under attack as a lot of Zealots, but he's forced to turn around as units are flanking from behind, and you don't want to get caught in a base, unable to leave. Big fight there happening between Lucky and Mew Mew. Lucky's pushing Mew Mew back. Hachi and Stun are trying to push each other. Like, both teams are trying to get control over the middle of the map, and so far control does look to be in the hands of the blue team. Lucky, Doromi, and Hachi. Stun there trying to force a fight, but can't quite get the engagement from Brain happening. They're trying to set up for their teammates to get their advanced technology on the map. We got Storm coming out there from Doromi. Dark Temple's entering the map as well from both Brain and Doromi. Got a shuttle. The first shuttle of the map is here being built by Doromi. Already finished up. Lucky trying to break through into Mew's base. We've got this fight here happening where it looks like the red team is winning the fight there on the middle. They got a big supply lead. Doromi's fallen behind a lot, and so is Hachi. But now Dark Templars on the middle are going to try and even up the score and get the supply counts even. The Dark Templar there is winning the fight. But now Dark Templars from Brain are going to try to do the same thing. They're going to try to rush into Doromi's base, kill the cannons, and then have the Dark Templars kill Doromi entirely. Zealots are rushing through, getting in between. He's trying to wall off this one cannon and trying to wall off that one as well. This is going to be a difficult fight, a difficult task. He's got a lot of Zealots there gunning for those cannons. Going for the early technology like this turned out to be quite a risky play, because when you go for more technology early on, you do lose out on a big, big army. Your army size will be smaller and smaller. Dark Templars there are destroying so many of Doromi's allied Zealots, but the probes blocking the cannons has worked out really well, keeps the cannon alive, which means the Dark Templars cannot snipe the Nexus because there would be no detection. He used a couple of High Templars to kill some of the enemy Zealots, while Lucky here on the middle trying to make sure that his enemies stay contained within their base. He gets flanked from both directions, while the drop there is trying to go for Brain's economy. Brain has a Procreate on the side and a Pylon as well to get vision. Likewise, Doromi has some vision there on the side. Supply counts are all pretty much even, except Doromi, who's fallen behind a lot because he was unable to mine for a very long time. But now, Lucky is being pushed in. He's in danger. Got a drop there going for Brain's economy. Coming over the top side, gets spotted out by a probe. Probes are running to safety in 2 different directions. Got a High Templar there on the scene arriving. Templar starts to storm, hits only a couple of them, not a big hit. Now, Lucky that getting flanked from both directions. Got Dark Templars on the scene to protect him. Going for the Nexus. Can he protect the Nexus? It's taking a lot of damage. Cannons are in danger. Now Brain arrives on the scene as well, putting his probes in between, trying to wall off access to the Nexus. But the Dark Templars are the only line of defense he's got left. We've got one cannon there on the side as well. Cannon under attack. Nexus might go down. There's way too many Zealots there hitting that Nexus, and it goes down in the... Oh, wow. It goes down in the end after all. Brain there with 3 more Zealots on the scene, finishing off the job that they started just earlier. Beautifully done. Going for a lot of counterattacks. Very well played here. Counterattack happening in Doromi's base yet again. Oh, he lost all of his cannons. Do we have Dark Templars? No Dark Templars on the scene. Hachi coming to save his ally. But Doromi is losing probes. Losing probes to Zealots from Stun HHK. And they're still there on the scene. He wins the fight, so a couple more probes might go down. And in the end, he does survive the fight. But Lucky took a lot of damage. The entire blue team took a lot of damage, to be honest. But the supply counts are still somewhat even. Hachi has a huge army lead. He's got the biggest army by a mile, but Mew Mew is not too far behind. Now someone is going for an attack there on stun HHK. It's Luckyback's army, Zealot and Dark Templars in the mix. He's building a lot of cannons in the back to try and prevent any serious damage from happening. Got some Dragoons there on the scene as well. Now Hachi coming for a little bit of backup to make sure that Lucky can really kill stun HHK, but Miyu of course wants to save his ally. Got a Observers are on the scene. Got a drop there coming out from Brain onto Doromi. This might finish him off. If this hits, it's a big hit. Kills almost all the probes. Only 2 of them stay alive there on the side. So that was a big hit. But now we've got Stun HSK. They're under attack from 2 enemies. Hachi and Lucky. But the probes there protecting the cannons. Making sure that the Zealots cannot really do what they want to. And you got more reinforcements coming out from Miyu yet again. So Stun HSK looks to be fine. Took some damage, lost some structures here and there, lost some probes as well, but in the end, he is more than fine. Got an Observer there from Brain coming in to kill the Dark Templars, and now they're going to go for their own counter-attack, I assume. Another drop there coming out on Doromi. Doromi is having a really tough time. He's getting punished for going for his technology way too fast. Are there High Temples in there? Yes, there's 2 in there, and the probes there are back to mining. He's tricking him into feeling safe. Cells unloading, Cells killing the cannon, still dancing there back and forth. Is he gonna unload and storm those probes? Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? He's just waiting there. We're waiting here for a very long time. Gonna keep that selected. Okay, so now we're gonna attack, and he is gonna go for it. Templar on the scene, Templar storms, Templar hits, Templar kills a bunch. Only 11 probes left alive, and gonna try to kill the remaining ones as well. Kills, oh, that one misses, but beautifully micro there by Brain. Now got a fight here happening between all the other players there on the map. Trying to finish off Lucky, who, well, tried to recover, but couldn't really recover because recovering with no Nexus, which you still have to warp in, takes a pretty damn long time. And now the supply leads are definitely heavily in favor of Team Red. Team Red is dominating the game. Hachi has the most supply, but he's going to lose a bunch of his supply because he's the only one with a big army on the map. Doromi has pretty much nothing at all. And Lucky's army size is also shrinking as time goes on. Good move there from Brain, trying to get in from the side. Zealous there moving into position to try and wall them off. You got Hachi there trying to get control over the middle. Dark Temple there from Lucky on the scene as well. Dragoons and Zealous there from Brain, penetrating through every hole that you can see here. All the holes are wide open, and the holes for Brain are definitely what he wants to slide right into to kill the canister in the back. But the cannon gets protected by the Zealots, but still there's way too many units there. Archon there on the scene as well, might kill all those probes with a couple of great splats and splits. And now it looks like Hachi's supply is amazingly big. He hasn't really been touched, but his production is absolutely insane. He's producing like an absolute madman. A triple drop there coming in from Brain onto Doromi. Yet again, gonna make sure he never ever leaves the Shadow Zone. And there's no... Oh, he's got energy, but he's not storming. He's just trying... Okay, he didn't storm. Now another drop there coming in. It's Dragoon's gonna try to finish off those cannons. This is not one of the smoothest drops I've seen him do. But there he goes in, rolls in closer, gonna try to storm yet again, but the probes are running away while a fight here happening on the middle. Between all the other players, we've got Miyu and Stun HHK absolutely dominating the middle fight. Hachi has a lot of supply, but his supply alone cannot make up for the huge difference Lucky and Doromi have. They've fallen behind so much so far that they do call the GG, and it's a win for Team Brain in game number 1. A Protoss fiesta with both teams. So now we have a little bit of a better grasp on what the teams actually are, so let's fix the teams before we move on. Let's fix the teams. Team 1 is actually Brain, Stun, and the last person was Miyu. We don't yet know who player number 4 is, but both teams consist of 4 players. And Team 1, we have, in fact, Hachi, Doromi, and Lucky. So those are the 2 teams that we know of so far. They both have 1 more player left in their team, so let's go into game number 2, which I first gotta find, which might take a couple of seconds, so give me a moment here, and we have it found. It's gonna be a little bit more racially diverse, instead of just the Protoss master race representing every single team there. So let's get this started. Game number 2, The score is 1 win for Team Brain and 0 wins for Team Hachi. Okay, now we have our teams fixed. Okay, now we know what the teams are. Looks like we have Sufan here on the Teal Zerk joining us today, and Myth Freya joining Team Brain here on the Blue Zerk. So we have Freya, we have Stun HHK on the Terran, and Brain again on the yellow Protoss. Then we have Doromi there on the brown Terran. He's going back to the race that he was a professional player on, the Terran, so I'm kind of curious to see how good is his Terran in team play. Because I've only kind of seen him play Protoss in team play, but I think his Terran is definitely his best race by far. Lucky top here. On the 1 o'clock spawn location, Magenta Pink Protoss and Sufan, we've already mentioned him, but he's here on the Teal Zerk, going for a 9-pool gas, hatchery. Well, first the Overlord. This is a build order I like to do a lot. In very high level games, you go for pool, gas, drone, Overlord, and then you stop making drones, get another hatchery, put 3 drones on the gas, gets Zergling speed, and get a sunken right here or right there behind your hatchery, where it's difficult for the opponents to hit the hatchery. While the Protoss players are pretty much all going for pylon on 7 supply, and a gateway on 9, and 2 more gateways on 11. What all the players are doing, and both Terrans are going for... Well, actually, Doromi went for barracks before he went for the gas and the supply depot, because he wants to maybe block an enemy into their base, or maybe harass the Zerg with a Marine. Whereas Stun HHK here went for supply depot gas on 8 supply into a barracks and then 2 factories. This does mean that Doromi's factory is going to be a little bit slower, or well, the first factory has the same timing, but factory number 2 is slower. So Stun HSK doing a double factory build, Doromi doing a single factory into a delayed second factory for the trade-off of having a Marine on the map. So now Zerglings there, hunting down Overlords, pushing them away from the middle. Zerglings against Marines, Zerglings, Marines against Zerglings, to be more precise. Zealots are joining the fray from both teams. This is a little bit easier to track. We have a top right corner against the bottom left corner. And because we have every single player so far away from each other, I think this game might become a long one. I think this game might become a long one. So Sufan trying to get us around on those Zerglings, gets us, ooh, getting a good protection there on those Marines. Doromi is playing really well, using his Marines there on the middle while fighting, although it looks like, I'm not sure who, okay, we know who won that fight. All the Zerglings died, and it looks like the people in control on the middle at the moment are Lucky, Su, and Doromi. That's purely because Doromi went for the Marines. His first Vulture is on the middle. We've got a counterattack happening there on stun before his Vultures are finished up. Gonna try to snipe some SCVs, but his Zerglings get surrounded by other Zerglings. Which now means, of course, because Freya's Zerglings are out of his base, they're going for an attack on Freya. This is what can happen if you send your Zerglings out into the map. It's getting, okay, this sunken is pretty well protected. Drones are keeping the enemy Zerglings away. We got Lucky's Zealots going back into the middle because he cannot join that fight because he would get surrounded by Vultures from stun and the Zerglings from Freya. They were still alive. Dragoons already on the map there from Brain went for very fast Dragoons, whereas Doromi went for delayed Dragoons in order to go for 5 gateways. And Dragoons are amazing against Vultures, but Dragoons are pretty bad against Zealots. They don't do full damage against Zealots, but Vultures get absolutely destroyed by Dragoons. That's why Brain went for the faster Dragoons. This is a very hectic fight, a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happening all at once. To be honest, we can play on red versus blue, considering everyone is playing a different race. So let's do red versus blue, just to make it a little bit easier to track the fights in the middle. I think Brain is losing its fight against Lucky there. Lucky has a little bit more supply, a couple stronger units, but less Dragoons, but a lot more Zealots. That's a lot more Zealots, but another wave of Dragoons there finishing up there for Brain. We have Su fan trying to sneak into and join the fight as well. Got vultures against vultures there from stun against Dorom. The amount of vultures for stun is a little bit higher because he had 3 factories faster than Dorom. But now Dorom is... Oh, Dragoons there from Brain getting a great position. Protecting the Dragoons, hitting the vultures of the enemy, but now Dragoons from Lucky doing the exact same thing. The fight is going back and forth, and the supply at the moment is in favor of Stun, Brain, and Freya. They are winning the fight on the middle. Got a mineral block there from Stun on Su Fan's minerals. That's going to be annoying. He cannot put drones on the minerals, but he's kind of just making Zerglings anyway, so it won't really hurt him yet. The fight in the middle is so hectic, I honestly just don't know who's winning the fight. But I can say that Brain is losing a lot of supply. Mines there are preventing his own Dragoons from getting back into his base, although, yes, bye-bye Dragoon. Overlord goes down as well. Beautiful snipe there from Lucky. Like, he needs those Overlords on the middle to see the mines. That's why Dragoons are also there, to kill the Overlords and make sure the mines are maximally effective. Likewise, Stun is setting his own zone of mine control up there to protect his ally Freya from Zerglings and Dragoons. But for now, it looks like the red team, Lucky, Su, and Dorom, have managed to get control over the middle. So how are Stun, Brain, and Freya gonna get themselves out of this contain? It's not a full contain because they have control over this bottom side. 2 Overlords are entering this bottom section. Gonna have to protect that Overlord. Kill the Dragoon. Oh, the Overlord goes down, but there's one more Overlord on the scene, ready to detect all the mines and clear the mines out. Brain is sending single zealots into the minefield to try and trigger the mines and clear out the minefield. He needs an Overlord there from Freya to enter the middle, but the Overlord will get sniped by Dragoons. There he goes. Overlord moves into the middle, gets sniped. The mines are gonna stay in control over the middle. Also, Doromi, his base is a complete mess, but he doesn't care because all he needs are vultures and tanks on the middle. Got siege tanks on the way for both the Terran players, and siege mode is being researched or is finished up. Got Stun going for a starport. Fight still happening there on the middle, but let's have a very quick look at their base. Wait, first this. Stun already has tanks on the middle, which gives him a huge advantage over Dorom in getting control over the map. Brain there once again tries to push into the middle. Got Zealots in the mix. Zealots are great against Dragoons, but the Dragoons from Lucky have somewhat of an arc around this entrance point, although a Mine Drag into his own allies Dragoons there. That's a painful one. The tanks there from Stun are controlling this bottom section. Brain is getting surrounded though, having trouble getting his Dragoons to safety to join up with the tank, but that means that his base is wide open to enemy units. Mines in the middle don't trigger on the tank, luckily. We have 6 factories there from Stun, getting double start poured. Whereas... oh, he's building a new barracks. The barracks died. He cannot build any more factories. So it's largely still vultures from Dorom. I don't see tanks on the middle yet, although there's one rolling in. Stun already has 5 tanks on the middle. He should have a couple more very soon, so this kind of relies on Stun pushing his tank line forward and completely getting control over this bottom left section of the middle. That should prevent the enemy team from pushing into either Brain's base or Freya's base. Now Freya is a little bit behind compared to Su with how many drones he has. He had to invest a lot of minerals into Zerglings to help him get control over the middle, whereas Su Fan could afford to build less Zerglings because his allies had already gotten a supply advantage over their respective opponents. But now, oh, we got a Vulture there and a Zergling entering his base, attacking. Somehow the Vulture and the Zergling got in there, and now they're killing the drones, evening up the drone count. They're both now on 16 drones. And now big attack there from Stun and Brain into the middle, because they saw that Dorom did not have enough tanks. But look at this massive surround from the red team onto all those tanks. Who is going to win this one? Are the tanks going to make a difference, or are there simply too many units from Dorom and Lucky for Brain and Stun to win this fight? The supply lead is now massively in favor of Lucky, Sue, and Dorom. Look at Dorom and Lucky having 30 to 40 more supply than their respective enemy counterparts. The tanks in the high ground, though, trying to control the middle, doing a lot of damage. A lot of Dragoon shots on the tanks are missing as well. The hill tanks are definitely reigning supreme. And the hill tank there definitely did save the game for Brain, Stun, and Freya. Dark Templar in the mix as well also played its part. But so far, they're just fighting tooth and nail for control over the middle. But Lucky and Dorom and Sue are not planning on giving that up anytime soon. The fighting on the middle has forced Sue and Freya to go back into making Zerglings. Both the Zergs are not really allowed, due to circumstance, to grow any bigger, any stronger. Although they do have a couple more drones than before, but it's nothing significant. But they do now have the option to either progress their economy and their technology to the next level, or to stick with more Zerglings. Just know that the Zerglings do lose their value over time. We have Shuttle coming out there from the ROM. Lucky, actually. He's got a Citadel and a support bait as well. Brain likewise has drops being finished up. I think he has level 1 attack finished up as well. I think his counterpart Lucky also level 1 attack. And upgrades for tanks are all not yet on the way. No armories yet. Wait, there's an armory right there on the bottom. So now we see Stun building more factories. Brain is in the supply lead because he has the most gateways. And the most probes as well, actually. He's got the most probes. Somehow he got the most probes. And now Dorom getting a beautiful tank line to split the middle in two. Drop there from Brain going straight for Lucky. And Lucky snipes out of the air. And likewise, we had a drop from Brain also going for Dorom. But Dorom has a lot of turrets in between. Drops, single shuttle drops are not gonna get through. So now we have a huge split map. Split in two, red versus blue. Red on the top right, blue on the bottom left. Tanks are being set up on the high ground there in Brain's choke to make sure that the enemy can never push through that choke. We have Brain on 64 probes, Stun on 61 SCVs, Dorom on 57, and Lucky on 57. Sufan on 33 drones, and Freya on 28. Freya is the first behind. Supply lead is in favor of the red team at the moment, as both Lucky and Dorom are almost maxed out. Stun is a little bit behind on 150 supply, but he should be catching up over the next couple minutes, unless, of course, the red team decides to push. But pushing against hill tanks is really difficult. The defensive position from the blue team is really strong. Drop there comes in. He has raids, gonna try to snipe the shuttle out of the air, so the drop does not connect. Now drop going for Brain by Dorom, by Lucky actually. I keep mixing them up. I'm so used to seeing Dorom on Protoss that I keep mixing him up with Lucky. But both the Zerg players are trying to grow into advanced technology, likely Mutalisks. Mutalisks are great against tanks, not really against Dragoons, not really against Goliaths, not against turrets, but they are the best option to dislodge those tanks from their position and maybe push for control over the middle. The raids have killed the tanks to the high ground. The storm assisted as well. So now Dorom is pushing and marching forward closer to Brain's choke. And of course, Stun is going to try to prevent that by moving his own tanks into position to seal off that area to make sure the tanks of Dorom cannot push through. Now we've got Mulas there from Sufan entering the middle before Freya's own Mulas have arrived. They are now there on the scene as well. Going to try to pick off those units there on the low ground, assisting the tanks on the high ground. Going to try to snipe the Templar. Templar gets storms on the Zealots. So many things are happening. Zealots, Mutalisk there on the side trying to kill the turrets. So many things happening right now. The chaos is really hitting in. It's setting in. The chaos is happening. Mutalisks are chasing Mutalisks. Bolters and tanks are trying to push forward into a tank line to try and get control over Brain's choke, to take away Brain's entrance. We have a drop entering Freya's base. Storms on the drones. Gets a bunch of drones. I think he got about 6, which at this point in the game is a pretty effective hit on Freya, considering he doesn't have a lot of drones. It's not a very big number. Losing drones at this point for Freya, it hurts his economy quite a fair bit. 74 probes there from Brain. He definitely has the most workers. Lucky could use a couple more, but given he's producing so well and playing so well, he's doing his part. I don't think having only 57 drones or probes is going to hurt him too much. But the blue team definitely has the economic lead, and having an economic lead, despite having no control over the middle, might still make the difference. Specifically with these 4 Templar drop there, killing SCVs there from the ROM. Although he dodges the storms largely, we got the Mules there from Sufan killing the Templars after they storm, but at least killing them. Also cleaning up the Zealots. Got a shuttle drop there that hit Brain really hard. He's down to 16. He got dropped at the same time as he was dropping his opponent. The Mules there getting chased down by Corsairs. Snipe the shuttle. Now, Scourge is coming for the Corsairs. This is a hype 3v3 game. This is a beautiful game so far. We're seeing a lot of different things that we usually don't see, because usually these games, these 3v3s, are very short. They're won and lost very quickly, but now we're seeing a beautiful Zerg that has grown into a full-out big-ass butterfly, flying back and forth with those mutalisks. I think they're flying snakes. I mean, imagine if snakes had wings. Oh my god, the world would be absolutely terrifying. If snakes had wings, oh my god, mutalisks are terrifying. Absolutely terrifying creatures. And now you got snakes with wings fighting against snakes with wings. But first, let's get this drop in there. Corsairs assisting the shuttles. Shuttles are loading right on the scene. There's Archons. There's Zealots. Do we have Templars as well? No Templars, it's just Zealots. We got Archons though, hitting a lot of damage. Doing a lot of damage to the Mutas, but the Mutas are getting a good surround there on the Archons, and this drop doesn't end up doing that much. But now we got Mulas there coming out from Su, with of course Valkyries from the ROM to assist. Tanks setting up shop to control that section, but it got raids in the air and no detection to kill the raids. So the Valkyries wind up not being very useful. Big drop there on, ooh, really big drop there on the ROM. Reavers on the scene. Command Center gets lifted up. Better than losing it. Still gets killed by the Archons. The Mutas there from Sufan are saving his ally, but he lost his command center and he has no space to put down another one. And he also lost a bunch of his SCVs down to 40 from about 60 or so, I believe. But yes, Brain is, despite losing his own probes, he's still doing his part in killing opponents, their economies, and hurting them in very dirty and nasty ways. Supply lead, though, is in favor of the red team. They have a huge supply lead. So I'd say the game is still heavily in favor of the red team, despite the ROM losing most of the economy. Because he still has tanks, Goliaths, and Vultures on the middle, controlling and splitting the map in two. And as we speak, the red team has control over a bigger section, but now a lot of tanks there rolling into the deaths. Oh no, losing a large portion of the supply. Stun HSK's army is way bigger. This might have been the wrong move. I do not approve. A lot of tanks there from the ROM went down. He rolled straight into Stun's tanks. That did not go well. Valkyrie's there hitting the Mutas, but also hitting his own Mutas. Wow, I think that the ROM... I think the red team just threw the game. Although, big drop there again on Freya. Freya is getting eliminated from contention. Lost all of his Mutas as well. Now losing the main base too. I might have just been wrong. I thought they threw the game with an attack there into the middle. But now they're destroying one enemy. And that is more important than losing the fight, because now it means that there's no longer a Zerg on an enemy team to play his part in the fight. Drop there happening on Sufan as well. 14 drones left alive. He got hit really hard there by Brain. Brain's drops are insanely good. He managed to find a way through all the chaos and land almost perfect storms and drops. So now Stun is saving Freya, but Freya's main is gone. Lost a lot of hatcheries, lost his Spire as well, lost most of his drones. He's down in the dumps, down in the drain. Things are not looking good. Down in the gutter. So Brain has recovered his economy, 66 probes. Sufan is broke. Freya is almost dead and gone. Sufan still has an army. The ROM, his economy has seen better days. He's got almost no gas income. His base is a mess. He can't even mine gas. He might start mining gas from the top left. And And now got Corsair. Oh, Archon in the mix as well. Have to run away, save the Mulisk. He gets out of there, tried to kill the tanks, but couldn't quite do it. Also, very quick upgrade check. 1-0-1 there for the ROM. 1-2 there for Lucky. 1-1 there for Stun. Brain is on 1-3. Very good upgrades. Sufan is on 2-0, and I think that's the GG. I think... What? Ooh, okay. Did they disconnect? Did they disconnect? What happened here? This game was definitely not over, and I got this game from the ROM. But this game does not look over. It still looks very much alive. I mean, it's basically a 3v2, but they decided to... I think they disconnected. Why, I don't know. Maybe they did not extend the map limit, but I think we were just entering the most epic phase of the game, where both teams try to finish each other off. But it turns out one of the two teams... Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about this one. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. But sadly, not the ending we deserved. Let's quickly update the teams. We have Hachi, Doromi, Lucky, and of course, we had Sufan in the mix as well on that team. So that's team number 2. And team number 1 had Freya as the final player. That's team 1, team 2. And let's go for game number 3. I seriously don't know who won game number 2, but that game looked to be in favor of Doromi, Sue, and Lucky. Brain and Stun might have been able to pull off a 2v3 win, but Freya was pretty much out of the game. But Dorom also had his own problems with his gas income. He had some troubles. His base was a mess. He lost his main, lost all his gas income. He had no gas left in the bank. So it could have gone either way. Anything could have happened. But what? I don't know. I just don't know what could have happened. Okay, game number 3. Let's get into it. Game number 3. And now we're looking at Brain here on the white Protoss, joined by Freya on the green Zerg and Mew Mew on the brown Protoss. Protoss, Zerg mirror matchup. Hachi there, Protoss, Sufan, yellow Zerg, and Dorom on the Protoss. And considering we have 3 colors that kind of look the same here, this is 10. This is the tan color. We have pink and we have white. They all look the same. We're going red versus blue, which means that it's going to be harder to track what Brain and Mew do and what Dorom and Hachi do. But at least you can see with ease what the Zerg is doing. Game number 3 on the screen. Score is either 1-1 or 2-0. But I'm going to assume the score is 1-1 in favor of both teams. I'm going to assume Brain and Mew Mew lost the previous match. That's what I'm going to assume. I can't confirm it, but given it was a 3v2, I'm just going to say they lost the game. The supply differences were too big to arguably overcome. So both the Zergs are doing different build orders. We have Sufan going for hatchery pool, hatchery pool, whereas Freya went for the standard pool gas hatchery overlord. And the Protoss players are doing the same thing as they always do. Pylon, gateway, gateway, gateway. Pylon forge. Okay. So Mew there finds Hachi's Zealot. Hachi there gonna try to kill some probes. Got a cannon there on the way. Should finish up just in time when the Zealot arrives and starts hitting it. Zealots are spawning from Mew to protect that cannon. Might go for a probe, or he just turns around. And the same story here for Mew, although he goes in. Gonna try to get one probe kill. Probe runs around, runs away. Cannon almost finished up. Zealot there attacking the Zealot. Zerglings find some Zealot there from Brain. Brain's got them all nicely balled up. Zealot there from Mew goes down. So he's a little behind in supply. We had a fast gas there from Doromi. Going for a Cyber Core. And a fight now happening on the middle with all the units from Team Red meeting up. They look to be in control at the moment with their very small supply leads. Very small. It's almost non-existent. Su Fan has very late Zerglings, but he's got 3 hatcheries, and he's got 12 drones, and a lair on the way. So Team Blue is going for a kind of a gamble strategy, where they try to get an advantage in the mid-game, not in the early game. Whereas the red team wants to win right from the start. They're going hard, they're going ham, getting on top of the cannons. Oh, looks like we have some problem here for Doromi. He might get punished for going for double gas a little bit too early compared to all the other players. Cannon there going down in the back. The Zerglings have all been killed. We have reinforcements joining in, but still those Zealots there are doing a lot of work, a lot of damage. Now they're going for probes. And this cannon as well. I think he's lost 3 cannons in total. He cancelled 2, cancels number 3. Zealot's now boxed into the corner, getting surrounded. They're behind the score screen. They're all gonna die, but have they done enough damage? They're almost 4 probes compared to the others. Got Zergs there on the sides, waiting for their time to strike when all the other units there leave the base. We have Mew going for a lot of gateways. We have Zerglings there from Su Fan entering the middle and 18 drones. Gas on top of the cannons yet again. Beautiful move there from Freya, waiting, lying in wait on the sides before he strikes. Overlord there from Su is getting information on Freya. Freya's still on 9 drones. He's got 4 hatcheries. Got 4 hatcheries as well. Got a Spire already on the way there from Su Fan. Maybe the very fast Mutalisks from Su might just catch everyone else by surprise. The Overlord scouts it though, so they know that he's doing that exactly. Hachi there picking a fight with Mew yet again, being tradition so far. Still more fighting happening there inside of Doromi's base. Doromi's down 21 probes. He's behind by 6 or 7 compared to Brain and compared to Hachi. So Doromi yet again taking some abuse, taking some punishment. Robo's finished up, but he doesn't have a drop yet. Brain, who elected to go for a slower gas, or he has Robo support bay, and that is Stargate there also on the way to counter the Mutalisks that Su Fan is going for. Here in the middle, let's switch the colors. We have both Protoss players trying to flank Hachi's Zealots there on the middle. Zergs there are still running back and forth from Su Fan on 22 drones. We have 19 drones now from Freya. Freya is going for a lair as well. Although he doesn't have the lair yet, but that is of course what he's planning to do. We have an Evo Chamber there on the scene as well. He's going for Hydralisks. Color me surprised, and once again cannons from the ROM going down. Got a support there on the top, getting a Citadel of Adun as well. He's got his own Dragoons boxed in. Gonna have to kill that force that he built to protect himself from run-ins. We have Brain there running back and forth with 2 Reavers on the scene, ready to start mayhem. Kills a large chunks of Zerglings all at the same time. Use their Scourges coming from across the map to kill the shuttle. Interesting adaptation. Now the Reavers landing there on the backside. Probes running away. Probes might get killed. Probes, they do survive. They don't get killed. Miraculously, the probes stay alive. But we have Double Reaver on the scene. and probes in the corner are dying to the Zerglings. Doromi is taking a lot of punishment. So they're gonna take... The Nexus stays alive as well. The Mule has saved the day. And here we're gonna fight there between Hachi and Mew Mew. Mew Mew has got more supply than Hachi. But Hachi should be catching up very soon because he's adding on a lot more gateways. But the fight there definitely going in favor of Mew Mew at the moment. Mew Mew definitely playing out of his mind. And Brain here play... Oh, he gets the Nexus after all. Look at that beautiful play there by Brain. Another shuttle arrived on the scene and allowed him to micro that Reaver to kill the Nexus. So Doromi is absolutely screwed. Absolutely screwed because he's got no money to even build a Nexus. He has to go all in. The gamble from Team Blue backfired really badly, and Doromi is dead. He is no more. He still has units though that he can use to maybe sway the game into his favor, but maybe that might not work. A lot of spores to protect the drones and the lair. Hydraulics on the scene. Supply count for Su is bigger than Freya. But we have Corsairs in the mix there from Brain, ready to push those Mulists away. But they are winning the fight at the moment against those Zealots. Supply lead is for Hachi and Su because Mew Mew just lost most of his army, but Brain has a bigger army than either of them at the moment. This game is chaos. They're now pushing on to Mew Mew, who's losing army very quick. Got a Reaver there on the scene there from Doromi. Probes are assisting. Probes might just be the MVPs who change the game and win the game. He's pushing forward. Reaver is in danger though. It's hard to micro a Reaver when it's crawling on the floor. Of course, they're in the mix. Of course, they're gonna go straight for the Mutas. They're dancing back and forth. This is one of the most chaotic short games I've seen in my life. A lot of things are happening left and right. Mew Mew is... I'm not sure if he's dying or not, but this looks pretty bad. And Brain does not have a lot of units to support him. Are they going to win the game with Doromi pretty much being dead? Are they going to win with the counter here? Is the gamble going to work out for Su, Doromi, and Hachi? Mutas are entering the middle, getting on top of the Corsairs. Corsairs running away because there's too many Mutas in the air. Now we've got to drop there on to Su. Loses drones. Loses a lot of drones. He's going to lose even more because Reaver's getting microed. Kills a couple more. 16 drones left alive. Freya's got 30. Mew Mew lost most of his gateways. He has cannons in the back as his only last remaining safety measure. For example, on the scene. Oval up there on the side. These more Overlords are moving in. The Dark Templar, oh, he kills the Overlord with the Corsairs. Is that going to save the game? One more Overlord there on the scene, alive. He's going to try to snipe it with the Corsairs, but they got to protect the Overlord. Going in, Overlord there. Oh, Disruption Web there from Brain. Gets the Overlord. Now there's no longer any detection there inside of Mew Mew's base. Is the Dark Templar, is Display going to save the game? They're getting on top of the cannons, trying to push through, trying to kill him. But now we've got a counterattack there from Freya onto Su. Su fan is in danger. Reaver arrives yet again. Gonna kill those drones. Drones get blown up. Oh my god. This game is legitimately insane. We've got way too many things happening. Mew Mew falls to the Mutaflock. After all, snakes in the air. Scary bitches finishing him off. But now they're returning back home to try and save his own life because he's in danger. Down to 10 drones. Hachi still has the most supply and the most workers. The Mutas in the air do save the base, but the drones yet again get blown up. He went back to work a little bit too early. Oh my god, and now the shuttle in the air gonna try to stay alive for a little while longer, but it gets taken down. And we have Overlords there entering Mew Mew's base with a lot of them to try and finish him off because they need detection for the Dark Templars. Looks like he survived after all. Although he does, yeah, he has money for a Nexus, but he needs to open up some space for a Nexus. Corsairs coming in to hunt down the Overlords. Brain's Corsair strategy with the double Stargate. He went for a lot of advanced technology, and it's working out. I've never seen anyone play the 3v3 at the highest level like this. Brain is absolutely styling. This is insane. Oh, the team play. That was insane. I've never ever seen a game that short have so many different things happen all at once, all over the place with such high-level tactics and such quick thinking. That was the most unique game I've seen a 3v3 from the Korean streamers. Legitimately, that was one of my favorite games. Short one, but OMG, that was a beautiful one. OMG, oh my god. Oh my god. I'm hyped. I'm fired up. Holy crap. Okay, game number 4. Stun Brain Freya. Turn to the scene against Doromi, Sue, and Lucky. Let's quickly hide all the interface parts and let's see what we are looking at. Stun on the Zerg, Brain on the Protoss, and then we have Freya on the Zerg, boxed in between enemies. Then we got Lucky on the Zerg. We have Doromi on the Zerg, and Sufan is no longer a Zerg main, he's now playing the Protoss. It's time for a switch up. He got tired of being the Zerg because playing Zerg is pretty difficult when the enemy is playing Protoss or Terran on this map with the strategies that they use. You're never allowed to grow big, you're always on the receiving end of the stick. So that because the colors are all very different and easy to track, I'm gonna keep the original colors that they played on and not make any change to red and blue. Lucky, Hatcher, Doromi, Pool, Gas, Freya, Hatchery, Pool. Then we have Stun, Hatchery, Pool, Gas. Gas not also coming out there for Freya. The Protoss players are doing the usual. 7 pylon, 9 gate, 11 gate, 11 gate. Same here. 7 pylon, 9 gate, 9 gate, 11 gate. It's interesting to see though, I don't think I've ever seen a ZPZ against ZPZ played by the former professionals who all started playing fast. They're pretty much all former professionals, or at least on the professional level. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with Stun HHK and Hachi and Mui Mui, Mew Mew. Oh, Mew Mew is not in the game at the moment. So Stun goes for triple hatchery. That's a little bit surprising. We have a triple hatchery here from Lucky as well. And we have double hatchery from Stun. He's the only one not going for triple hatchery. Doromi is the only one not doing a triple hatchery. Is that going to backfire? Or is that going to play into his favor because his Zerglings entered the middle the first? So I'm kind of curious to see how is this going to play out. I've never seen this specific scenario before because nobody ever plays this matchup. So not sure where this is going to go. Both the Protoss players starting their respective Thespian Geysers. Zergling speed on the way for every single Zerg player, although Doromi already finished his own Zerg speed. And he's now gunning for Stun's workers. And his Zergling is going to try to kill as many as he can. Sunken in the back there, ready to protect though. He's committing to it though. Maybe lost 1-2 Zerglings too many. All the Zerg players have their Sunken finished up, and actually Lucky has no Sunken. Which does leave him open to a counterattack. And the enemy knows, because they got an Overlord, they're on his minerals. And now he's under attack. His drones are under attack. Zerglings are spawning just in time, but he's losing one drone. Didn't lose that many. So it worked out in the end, but it was a little bit risky to go for a no Sunken Zerg. So Stun is being pushed back to... Well, actually, no. We have Lucky getting control over the corner there, over Freya. We have a big fight happening here. A lot of chaos happening. Blue is winning the fight there, though. Blue is winning the fight. Brain forced to retreat. Brain has less supply than Sue, and I think Sue is going to have more supply over Brain as this fight keeps going against him. Not sure who's winning this one. Lucky has more supply than Freya, so I'm going to assume Freya is winning that fight, but now we've got a flank there happening by Stun, trying to get on top of the Zergs from both directions. And Lucky micros his way out of there, but he's not in safe waters yet. When Zerglings are happening, it's just non-stop chaos, because they're moving around the map so fast you don't really know what's happening, and sometimes you don't even know how many Zerglings there are. So looking at the supply counts, I think is the most important thing. Sufan, 70 zealots, 70 supply against Brain's 26. He also has better technology than Brain, although Brain is going for a robo in the back. Double robo in the back. He's trying to do the same thing as last game's triple gas. And he has enough cannons and zealots to protect his economy from danger. But now Dragoons are arriving on the scene, and Brain has no Dragoons of his own, which means his gateways are in danger. And I feel that more Dragoons are going to be coming across the map there from Su to try and push Brain over. But Brain now gone on the pushback. He's moving on the pushback. Fight happening there as well, Zerglings against Zerglings, but whoever wins that fight, I don't know. Got a Protoss against Protoss happening here on the 1 o'clock spawn location, and it looks like Brain is pushing those Dragoons away, but Sufan with more supply is winning the fight. He's winning the fight. And the Zerglings are chasing the Zerglings left and right. We got Doromi against Stun, and we got Lucky against Freya. And Lucky is in the supply lead when it comes to Zerglings. He's got so many Zerglings, he's got more than 12 supply over the second biggest Zerg, but now he's picking a bad fight there. But numbers triumph over position in this situation. The Zerglings are overpowering Freya, but Freya is returning back to the double sunken in the back. And I don't think Lucky wants a piece of the double sunken. He's gonna try to brute force it. Likewise, Su is destroying Brain here on the top corner. You got Double Reaver on the way there though. And when the Double Reaver finishes up, I think Brain should be fine because his Reaver Shuttle Micro is insane. So here, Lucky lost all of his Zerglings. Didn't really do too much damage to Freya, but Freya lost all of his own Zerglings. He's fallen behind a lot. And Doromi and Lucky are trying to push for the last remaining Sunkens there in the back. Got a small little attack there from Stun onto Doromi, but that didn't really work out too well. Lucky is beating up Freya. And it looks like Su is beating up Brain. Gonna try to snipe the shuttle, but the Reaver's still alive. Lost all his gateways though, building new gateways. And Freya is dead. Freya has been slain. Now they're going for stun. Brain is too busy protecting himself against Su, who apparently went for the superior bull order. Brain is in trouble. He's getting new Reavers in the back. Ready to shuttle Reaver Micro. He's getting Dark Templars as well. But the gateways are getting taken down, so he cannot really produce them. Su is playing this one amazingly well. I'm impressed that he's besting the Brain in a PvP face-off standoff. Hello now. What's Doromi doing? What is Doromi doing? What is Lucky doing? What do they have in their mind? What are their plans? Dancing back and forth. A lot of gateways on the way there for Brain. He's building new gateways because he keeps losing the gateways. And he's got the Reaver Shuttle there finished up in the back, but he can't really move out at the moment because the Dragoons are just hammering on his production non-stop. And Freya is really definitively out of the game. Doromi got hit really hard as well by a counter-attack, and now he's going to die to the mass Zerglings coming in from stun. Stun is here to finish him off. Got a small Dragoon attack there coming in to save Lucky, because Brain's Reaver Shuttle is on the scene hunting down the drones. Run away to safety, and he does stay alive, loses only 2 or 3 drones, and now Doromi is dying. Stun HHK is building a lot of hatcheries and Sunkens to grow into the next phase of the game. And is Doromi gonna die here? Because if he dies, it means the replay ends. Brain comes back in, Reaver on the scene, Reaver shoots, it's low, and the drones get the safety. He loses 4, but 4... Oh, drop there coming in from Brain onto Sufan. Big scare up there, chasing the probes. Probes trying to get away. Probes do survive, and he doesn't die. He's got a big... Freya died. Doromi is still alive. Looks like the game is slowing down a little bit. We got Stun and Brain still in the game. And Sufan has a huge army. 141 supply and Brain on 70. Brain gambled on the Reaver drop technology. He's building a lot of gateways all at once. But I fear that Stun HHK is not gonna survive this absolutely devastating, massive blow that's coming straight for him. Because Su-Fan's army size is huge. It's humongous. It is too big to handle. Too big to fail. They're getting on top of the Sunkens. Zerglings are penetrating right through. Sunkens under attack. Zerglings are flanking from the right. Reavers are being microed in the back. Reavers are getting some pretty good shots, but the shots are not good enough. Dragoons are coming in to try and snipe the shuttle, trying to snipe the Reaver. Reaver is under attack. Reaver getting attacked. Shuttle stays alive, gets out of there. The micro is insane with the shuttle Reaver, but he's getting surrounded from every single direction. Reaver gets taken down. I think that's the game. More units are coming from Su-Fan's base. Dark Templars on the scene, but we have an Overlord on the scene as well to detect and protect from those Dark Templars. Doromi is dead and gone. Lucky is also sending Hydralisks across the map. Looks like the Overlord there went down, though. The Overlord went down. The Overlord died. Do they have more Overlords? Yes, Lucky has an Overlord in the air. Reaver shuttle there fighting, flying back and forth, dancing with the funky feet, fancy feet, trying to win the game. Dark Temple's on the scene. Overlord is too slow. Forced to turn around in no Overlord speed. He's getting a lair to get Overlord speed, but oh, it's going to take so long to finish the Overlord speed. It's going to be difficult to push into Stun's base, but Stun only has 19 drones. But Brain is 50 probes, and a drop there on the way. Drop almost gets sniped out of the air. He's got vision on the hills with the Overlords from his two allies, and they're pushing back onto Stun. Stun is finished up. More Hydras, more Sunkens. Dark Temples on the scene as well. Overlord a little bit too far behind because they're too damn slow, but they will arrive very soon. And this army from both Su and Lucky does look to be strong enough. Reaver arriving on the scene, trying to once again change the tide of the game. Brain has the supply lead now. Su is falling behind because he keeps losing unity on the 11 o'clock. And Stun somehow is staying alive. And now Brain flanking with his own zealots with speed. No speed. They're regular zealots. They're slow zealots. 11 minutes in. Is the game turning around? Drop there coming from Brain onto Lucky. Lucky doesn't snipe it. Reaver's on the scene. It's one double Reaver. Drones running away. Drones getting attacked. Drones getting exploded. Only 12 left alive. He had 30. Lost 18. Loses the rest as well. And that's GG. That is the game. Lucky got absolutely demolished with two amazing Scarab shots. We have Su-Fan going to try to end the game with a final push onto Brain. But Brain has recovered really well. It's got cannons, got Dragoons, got Zealots, and Templars. No way is he gonna break Brain. Maybe one last final attempt at hitting Stun might save the game, but Stun has recovered really well. He's building more Sunkens. Not a drop there coming across, going for Lucky, who's trying to recover his economy. He's got 12 drones now. Spent all of his money on those new drones. Is this drop gonna end him? That is the big question. Got a drop there going for Su-Fan as well. Gonna try to wriggle his way through. He's microing two shuttles at the same time on two locations. Triple shuttle coming in. Can the Dragoon snipe them out of the air? Su-Fan a little bit slow. Probes running away. High Templar on the scene. High Templar storms. Just 3 High Templars and a Reaver. Gets a lot of probe kills, and here drone kills on. No, he dodges the storms with the drones. The High Templars could not finish him off. Now gotta push yet again onto Stun. This time around, no Dark Templars on the scene. Big army leaving Brain's base. He's almost maxed out. Going for a counterattack? Or he's gonna try to box Su-Fan's units into that 11 o'clock. Two armies are colliding. All armies are entering the middle. Su-Fan is retreating from Stun's base. Stun is on the chase. Brain is trying to cut him off. They're getting a surround on Brain, but Brain is retreating back into his own base, which means Stun might stay there on the top corner. Not too sure what's going to happen. He's moving. Oh, he's entering the middle. Pushing forward. They're going to try to flank this army on the middle. No, they both turn around. They want none of this yet. Not yet. Shuttle there still in the top bottom corner. Big fight erupting in the middle. They're getting a flank. There's two Reavers in a shuttle on the scene as well by Brain. That might make the difference. We have similar supply counts for both Zerg players. Su-Fan is losing army rapidly due to the flank. Brain's army is still staying strong, staying large, staying big. Looks like in the end, Brain and Stun do win the game. They do win the game. There's no coming back from this one. Lucky has got more drones, but more drones does not mean more army. And that's what we're seeing right now. Stun and Brain managed to pull through miraculously. They managed to hold on, stay in the game, stay in the race, and overpower their opponents. Sufan was in a supply lead for most of the game, but at some point he started falling behind. Brain's very risky technology strategy worked out in the end. Drop there coming in. That's the High Templar there in the shield that survived in the bottom corner. Comes in. Starts loading. Templars on the scene. Templars storming. Templars hitting. Kind of hitting nothing. You still have the double Reavers on the bottom corner. Hydras and Dragoons in the middle. Got Lucky building hatcheries, trying to build his own army to try and join the battle, but their cells on the middle keeping away. 102 upgrades there for Brain. Over there to detect the Dark Templar. The Dark Templars from Sufan. He's in 1-1 upgrades, 1 upgrade behind on Brain. Brain has a lot of money in the bank, and Su is broke. He's broke. He's got a Reaver shuttle there on the bottom corner, trying to push his way through. Now Lurkers on the scene as well. This game is over. And these might be some of the highest level games I've seen in a very long time. These games were honestly, legitimately insane. I'm so glad I picked this set out of the hundreds of sets that are in Dorom's autosave. Like, Dorom has like 4,000 2v2/3v3 replays, and I selected these 4 out of like 4,000 replays. And I think I might have selected the best ones. Like, oh my god, these games are amazingly beautiful. And Brain coming in there to finish off Lucky with another drop, and they call GG, and Brain's team wins the set. Oh my god, they played beautifully. Brain, Stun, Mew Mew, and Freya come out on top in this best of 5. I'm not sure who won game number 2. I'm gonna say it was Hoxie, Lucky, and Doromi. And Sufan who won game number 2, because they did look to be winning. I'm gonna give game number 2 to them. But boy, this was an entertaining set, and I hope you were as entertained as I was.